Hello there.
Good morning.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about the Happy Family Bootcamp for parents. And for some of you who've done our course in the past, when it was known as the Empowered Parent, we've actually looked into it a little bit more, and having done it and run the course a few times, we've recognised that it's really more like a boot camp. And the reason we've called it the Happy Family Boot Camp is because isn't that what everyone wants? Do you want to be a happy parent? Do you want to have happy children? For us, when we picture the happy family, that really paints a picture for us of how we expected it to be or wanted it to be when we first had children. And then reality hit, and we started reading the books and watching the videos about conscious parenting and how we really wanted to be like the book said, but we didn't quite get the how. We'd be reading it, we'd be learning, and then we'd be showing up with our kids still behaving in the same way as we had before we started reading the books. So the boot camp is more about the how, like the analogy at the gym when you go to the 8-week boot camp. Like when you think about what is the driver, when you think about women especially out there, before you've had children, what's usually the big carrot, the driver for going to the gym for an 8-week boot camp?
Yes. Usually the big wedding day. A big wedding day, because we want to look good for our wedding day, don't we? We want to, we want that to be amazing and look really awesome. So that's like the carrot. And I think when you start reading the conscious parenting books, like Joe said, you start to paint a similar picture. You're like, oh wow, could my family look like that? Could my family be the gentle family, the patient family, the calm family, the family who can really attune to their child's needs, who has a child grow up as a unique individual and that they fulfill their full potential. I mean, these are the pictures that we paint inside our head, and that's what we want to head towards. So just like the bride who wants to have this amazing day, what do we do next when we think, yep, I've got to have an amazing wedding day? Yeah, or I've read the conscious parenting books. I want to be able to do this.
Well, the first step is that awareness that you want something different to what you have now.
So you've got to actually be really honest with yourself, don't you? Yeah. And that can be a moment that you put off in time, where you just keep going, no, I'm not really going to think about this. So I'm going to keep listening to the podcasts. I'm going to keep reading about attachment parenting and conscious parenting. And it's great. It's great listening to all of this. It's wonderful. And every time I listen, I paint more of a picture of how it's supposed to look. And yet, in reality, just like the bride who's a little bit out of shape and who has to actually have a look at her body and go, shivers, the wedding's only a certain amount of time away, I am going to and the wedding is a driving force here. With our kids, we just go, it'll be okay. You know, we don't have the wedding day. So, you know, we say to you guys, think about you're heading down the track of they're going to be teenagers in no time soon, and that's when we love to say, if you start now working on doing the inner work and joining a boot camp now and learning a lot of these tools when your children are smaller, then you're going to be in great shape by the time you get to the teenage years.
Don't do what I did and wait till the teenage years, till disaster hits, and then decide go seeking help.
Yes, and you have an absolutely beautiful, amazing video series that you can watch about Joe's journey through the teenage years as well. So we can put a link to that with this video today too.
Yep, we'll do that.
Yeah. So you get to the being honest with yourself, and then what?
Oh gosh, then you decide you've got to commit to something, commit to turning up for yourself to make this change.
Yeah.
And go on the path to find someone with experience, with expertise, who's dealt with a number of people in a similar situation to you, but yet enough experience to be able to cater your results specifically to your unique needs.
Yes. And that is the next stage of finding this group, finding and like if you're going to join a boot camp, you're finding like-minded people who also want to get themselves in shape, and you're finding somebody who can lead you through that. And often they've been there. Like for me, for Joe, we've both been that yelling parent. We've been the parents that, wanted our children to can you just go away and leave me in peace? I've been there many, many, many times. And so I understand the challenges that parents face when they want to be a conscious parent. They want to be more gentle, more patient, more kind, more attuned to their children's needs. And yet there is some triggers, some deep stuff there from our own childhoods that we don't know how. I did not know how to work with that until I found Faster EFT, and that is the modality that we use to help you in your boot camp. When you come to the boot camp, we are doing different things. So we've got some examples here of the kinds of things that are very common that show up. So say, for example, your children are fighting and, it's escalated. They might be hitting each other. They might be hurting each other. There's, the voices are raised, all of that. And what happens inside when you so, and we all have different reactions to this too.
Yeah.
So what would happen for you, Joe?
I would step in with a loud voice, a very firm voice, and separate them and send them away from one another and away from me. So send them away to deal with their big emotions by themselves.
Yeah.
And then probably go guilt myself a little bit, like what am I doing wrong? Why are they fighting? What am I not getting right here?
Yeah, or go and just be busy so you don't have to feel anything.
Yeah, I might have done that. Yeah.
Dealt with that now. And I would have done similar too. I either try and separate them, but one of the first things that usually came up for me was just feeling really, really bad, like I could turn it on myself so quickly, but that would make me then want to project all my bad feelings onto my children and make it about them. So again, I'm yelling at them, and maybe even not just dealing with the problem at hand, I'm saying something I don't want to say to them. I'm saying why can't you work this out yourselves? Maybe they're 4 years old. And of course, 4-year-olds can't work things out.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, because really inside me, I'm the one that can't work things out. I'm the one who can't find a solution for my own escalating emotions in this situation, and then I kind of project what I'm feeling inside onto my children, and to the point where sometimes they're just crying, going, "Oh, sorry, mummy, sorry, we won't do that again." That
might be a huge concept. Excuse me, but this is something that you will learn. And you will be able to do fairly easily in future. Recognize when you're projecting onto someone else, because to blame other people is easier than look at yourself. So just that little concept there might be huge, but you will be able to do it in the 8-week boot camp.
Yes, you'll start to be able to stop yourself, and maybe a lot of you already, if you're in this group, then you're already probably noticing these things. You're really aware that you're doing some of this stuff. Another example is this is the rejection example. So you get up in the morning and your child comes into the kitchen and you want to give your child a hug, and you really feel like an amazing hug from your child, and your child says, and doesn't want to give you a hug. So what do you do then, Joe?
Oh, there's a number of options here too. One could be to step in and physically force yourself upon them, or force the hug to take place, regardless of them giving permission, or to again send them away and be angry, be cranky, and go into rejection programs. I'm not good enough programs that come from your own past. Yep. So what that would look like for me was probably to send them away, and then again go into overthinking and questioning what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thinking about that for the rest of the day. Why can't I do this? Like, what's wrong with me? And for me too, another one would be when the children wanted to come to me and they wanted a hug from me. And that was often a bigger trigger for me, is like I didn't feel like giving them a hug. So I was beating myself up about that, because there was often days when I just, it's like, just leave me alone. I think the expression now the parents used is like touched out. I'm all touched out today. I can't do any more touch. And then feeling so guilty about that. So, and again, beating myself up about that, not knowing what to do about that. So that's another example of things. These kinds of things come up in the calls. Like, this stuff is just regular triggers. We're talking about these kinds of things all the time. The next example we have, this one comes up all the time, is that my partner is not into conscious parenting and gentle parenting and peaceful parenting in the same way that I am. So how can that one sometimes look?
the disagreements, the fighting, the dinner. Oh, dinner time's a good one, when you've got to, if I believe that they don't have to eat all of their dinner, and they can let their body tell themselves when they're full, or because you've prepared a meal for them, they will sit there until they eat everything on their plate.
And that's what your partner thinks.
That's what your partner thinks. And that old favourite, there's starving children in other parts of the world. You've got to eat all your dinner.
Yes, yeah. And you as a conscious parent know that shaming is not a good idea, and it's not really going to have long-term benefits, but your partner is not, believing the same things as you, actually thinks that it is teaching you something good by teaching you to eat all the food on your plate, has very different belief systems. So this comes up in our calls all the time during the boot camp. It is a very, very common one, and we show you how tools that you can use to.
And this is where you're turning up each week, and you're bringing your own challenge to the table. What's unique to you, even though many of us have the same challenges. It's how it's showing up in your life, similar to when you're going to the gym, the 8-week boot camp in preparation for the wedding. You may be wearing a short dress and you want to show your legs off, so you're going to focus on your legs, or perhaps it's a halter neck and you want to work on your shoulders. Well, this is what you get to do each week when you come and you work on your emotions, your mindset, and work on what's showing up every day in your life with your kids, with your family.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool that you're also with a group of, and people, we kind of bounce off each other, because we do have very common, like with the gym analogy, the boot camp gym analogy, the body and the emotions, of course, we all share very similar emotions, and we all are doing, we're all human. So we show up but we just have different things going on. So there's shared things, and there's also our individual challenges. And, a good boot camp instructor can really, make it so individualized and work with the group as well. So that's an amazing part of showing up for the boot camp. So what is that's what the boot camp's about, but Joe, we've got steps today. It's really awesome.
I do get excited when we have steps.
Yeah, and these are going to be going out in our email. So if you haven't signed up for our email yet and you want to get this video in written format, this will go out next Friday as an email. So
Friday week.
Yeah, Friday week.
Well, I'll put the link to the weekly newsletter below this.
Yes, and you can see all of this in written format, because after you've chosen to go to the boot camp, step 5 is you have to go. You have to turn up. You have to show up maybe it's twice a week. For our boot camp, it's once a week. And eventually people actually just show up once a fortnight or once a month. And they keep doing it, because what we want to create here in this community is that this is a lifestyle change. If you're becoming a conscious parent, it's not enough. Everyone knows it's not enough to just do the boot camp. It is staying in this community. It is hanging out with like-minded parents. It is getting people around you who support you in this really important decision that you've made in your life, and getting that support on a daily basis, and learning a lot of different tools from the boot camp experience that you can then use. But you want to stay in community. It's so important, isn't it?
Be surrounded by supportive, like-minded people.
Yes.
And learn skills for life. That's the key thing. And they will literally be at your fingertips.
Yeah. And I think to myself, really, like, to learn even to do a good squat. Like when you're just learning and you think, oh, well, everyone knows how to do a squat, Ilka. Everybody knows how to do a star jump. But the thing is, there was a time when star jumps were not something that you really knew, or particularly squats, not something perhaps you knew how to do properly, right? So you certainly didn't do them every day. If you're a gym junkie, not junkie, but if you're into being fit, then you definitely know how to do squats, right? And this is the same with most people who want to be emotionally intelligent. They have tools. They have like the squat tool in their toolbox. For us, we have tapping. And if you have been in our group for any amount of time at all, you have seen the magic powers of tapping and the testimonials about tapping, and all the ways that tapping is, something that it's so simple and it's so easy. It's just like doing squats. It's going to actually enhance your life so much. And if you're around people who use it all the time and are reminding you of it all the time, then you're going to get into this amazing lifestyle habit that's going to absolutely change your life. So it's very, very exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And so I think we've covered the 7 steps. The last one, keep it for life. You will have this tool so that you can respond in situations rather than automatically react like you used to react, or in how the reactions used to be things that you wanted to change. Now you'll be able to go to calm responses.
Yeah. And this is to go back to our original analogy, which is this bride who wants to look good for her wedding. Well, we all know some of the stories around that, don't we? We all know that the bride gets so excited about how the wedding's going to look and how she's going to look on her wedding day, and she does all this amazing stuff for the wedding, right? But then she was so focused on the wedding and how it was going to look and all of those things, that when, a year goes by in her marriage and she realizes that it's been a long time since she's actually had that level of excitement about her life and about how, how the day-to-day operation of things are going. And we call that the honeymoon period is kind of over. So we really, what we're saying here is that we don't want to have that. We don't want to have that you like the diet analogy, like you've got to always be on a diet. Like, this boot camp is not about that. This is a boot camp to get you started. You go to the boot camp and because you've just decided conscious parenting is going to be a really cool thing, so you need to get some tools. But our belief here is we don't want that bride analogy of then, 2 years down the track, where's her family? Where's her people that she can get support from? Where are the tools that she learnt in the boot camp? And is she still using them? Maybe not. We don't want that. What we want in the Awakened Parent community is a place where you can keep coming back month after month and being with like-minded people, and your marriage and then you're going on to have children is like a wedding day every day. I mean, how cool would that be? Like you're that excited to get up every day. It's like your whole life is the same as if you were preparing for your wedding every day. And that is what you want. You want it to keep that excitement, to keep the passion, to keep the fun, the enjoyment, and when you're with your kids as well, fun, excitement, happiness, and to be a happy family. But Joe and I just know it takes a lot more than just doing an 8-week boot camp to build these habits that are so cutting edge in the world. Like they really are. We don't have, in my opinion, a lot of examples around us of people who are really living life that is they're connected, they're like, it looks like a Hollywood movie every day, that's our aim here, isn't it? That you can have a life that actually you're so emotionally intelligent, that you have these things, you've reprogrammed your mind, you've got this emotional intelligence, and you really have learnt the skills that it takes that for all the women I've worked with, there wasn't a lot of these in their own childhoods, okay? And the subconscious is built on your own childhood. So you're having to re-habitualize yourself with new habits, and this takes time. This is why our mums stay in our group and keep doing the calls with me, some of them now for over 2 years. And that's just like once a month they show up. Some of them still show up weekly because they know how important it is and they want to reprogram themselves because there's still some little triggers left. And also they just love it because it's so much fun. So we have fun doing this work. And that's really, the new picture we want to paint, that the wedding day is available to us every day. So if that seems out of reach, you've got to start somewhere.
You've got to start. And our next course, our next boot camp, begins on September 20th. And if you'd like to, right now we're doing free 30-minute discovery calls to have a chat with you and see how we can best support you on your parenting journey right now. And we'll pop a link below for you to book a call and join our weekly newsletter. And anything else?
If there isn't a time on that link that suits you, please send Joe or I a message on Facebook. We will try and organise another time. Yeah,
we will organise another time.
Yeah, we will. Sorry.
Yeah.
That try word got put in there again. Yeah. So that's it. Check out if you haven't signed up to our email list, then do that, and you will get this video in a written format. All the steps, and we're also on Instagram, YouTube. So if you know any parents out there who could be helped by this information, please share our stuff with them, because the community of conscious parents, gentle parents, peaceful parents is growing and growing and growing, and it is awesome to see. It is. And if you like this video, give it a like so other parents can see that it's of value to them as well. And I was going to say, check out in this group, we have frequently asked questions, and we have some panels of mums. If you're new to this group and you want to hear the mums talking about their experience in our calls, then there's plenty of testimonials, and there's plenty of, I think it's called panel discussions. Panel discussion, or hashtag testimonials. Yes, hashtag testimonials, and you can see that if you're scrolling through And the file section is where you'll find all the frequently asked questions about the calls. Like, can children be on the calls? Yes, they can. Like, we are an extremely child-friendly, extremely child-friendly place to hang out. And there's lots of other questions just like that we answer in those frequently asked questions. So, yeah,
Cool.
I think that's it.
That's it. Awesome. Thanks for
All right.
being with us.
Yes.
And we'll see you again next Wednesday.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.